What's your name?
Rick Thomas.
David Bishop.
John Maurer.
Chuck Rottable.
Here's Brian Hipperly.
Sharon Thomas.
Eric Stevenson.
Eddie Coy.
Jeff Horn.
Dick Reed.
Dorothy Nye.
How many years have you worked here for?
42.
29 years.
22 years.
24.
19 years.
19 plus years.
17 years.
16 years.
13 years.
43.
49 years and 2 months.
What made you apply and how did you get hired?
I was interested in automobiles, and I come down and interviewed with your granddad, Frank Holler, at the time. And he hired me as a recon department.
I got hired because they did not do alignments, and Mickey had purchased an alignment rack and equipment, and he needed someone to do alignments.
And then he found you.
He called me and asked me if I would be interested, and I said yes, but I never did alignments. So he said that's not going to be a problem. So he sent me to school through Hunter Engineering to become an alignment technician.
Looking for opportunity, local person. I thought I'd know a lot of people and be able to relate with them to, help them with their needs in selling cards and have a career.
Needed a job. Needed a summer job. I applied when my mom was buying a 94 Firebird from here, and Mickey needed a nighttime guy. I was the first nighttime guy in recon.
I was actually working at another Chevy dealership at the time, and the service manager here called up there and got me on the phone. I stopped in here, got hired.
I was in food service and decided I wanted to pursue something that was more in the business line. So this worked out perfectly with being a cashier, receptionist, and now warranty clerk.
I actually quit my job previously and took 2 months off and walked in here and got hired.
I just out of college for about a year, definitely needed to get a career started, and I wanted to work somewhere local, so just happened to luck into this. I saw an ad for a business manager in the newspaper and applied, and I got the job.
I had talked to Mickey. I was working at another dealership and just wanted to work closer to home.
I was looking for a job. I was driving a bread truck and I was looking for a different job, and my uncle told me about this job here, so that's why I came here.
My husband was the parts manager, and I had helped at home while I was still at home with our 7 kids. And he asked me if I wanted to start work in the parts department, and I told him yes, I would do that.
Have you changed positions from when you first started working here?
Started out in the reconditioning department for a year. Then I moved to the mechanics line and mentored under Jerry Wyrick, one of the veteran line technicians, for 20 years. After that, I was promoted to a service writer. Started in recon and then became a technician and then became a shop supervisor.
Yeah, I started out as a prepper and now I'm the painter.
I have. I used to be the business manager when I got hired, and now I'm in sales.
I'd done different jobs in the time that I was here.
Well, I was a parts clerk, and I ended up being a parts clerk too, but there were 2 years I was kind of parts manager on a temporary basis.
What is your favorite part about working here?
Knowing that a customer's car, that I have relayed the information to a technician what the problem is, and their car is going out safe for their families.
I think it's the people. And you can tell that because there's a lot of long-term employees here. So that tells you a lot about a place when you got long-term employees.
It's not like Groundhog Day that every day's the same. Every day's different. You meet new people with all kinds of backgrounds and stories and wants and needs, and it's nice when you can fulfill them and make it successful for both.
The employees and the customers, getting to interact with all of them.
It's close to home.
Seeing how the dealership has grown in the 19 years and meeting new people.
Probably the family atmosphere and kind of working for yourself.
I do like the family atmosphere, you know, small dealer type feeling. Nice place to work. And I do have a short commute.
Building the relationships with customers and everyone, all the employees, is my favorite part of working here.
Mainly the people, the fellows that I've got acquainted with, and the people that came in for parts that I learned to know, and it has been very good.
I liked the people. Everyone was congenial. There wasn't any arguing about things. It was a very nice atmosphere to work in. And I also very much liked keeping things organized.
What is one of your favorite stories from working here?
Many years ago, we had a customer appreciation day where we had the Dale Earnhardt car, the Pro Bass car, showed up here, and we had them on display, and we had a great turnout for that.
I knew you were going to ask me that, and I had to think about that for a little bit, and I was going through a couple, and then the one that I have to tell, which is going to be hard, but it was one of my, a man named Earl Klein came into my life in September of 14, and he parked his car, and he got out of the other side of the car, and I thought that was odd. He was in a wheelchair, and I walked up to him, and I said, hello, and he said, John, he said, I'm giving up my freedom. I'm going to get a car for my wife. And I looked him right in the eye, and I said, sir, when you get rid of that car, I'm going to buy that van for my friend who needs it really bad. His name was Ron Gilson, and he had ALS. Turned out that Earl bought a car from me. He enjoyed it. Ron got the car with his family, drove over 10,000 miles his last year when he was here. The day he died, I wrote him a letter, said thank you for us getting together and letting him fulfill his life with his family. And ironically, it all turned out full circle as Earl said, I'd really like to get that van back and have my freedom. He said, do you think they would sell it to me? I said, there's no questions asked, Earl. I'll make that happen too. So I got everybody together and did all the paperwork, and full circle, everybody came out happy. And it's one of the best story. I have other ones, but that one really hit home.
Social events, we used to have golf cart rides up at Mickey's.
How everybody has grown and the dealership has grown, and watching everybody work together to make the dealership better.
One time we were playing in a golf tournament, and Mickey wanted me to drive one of the brand new Cadillacs to this golf tournament. So I was really on edge about taking this car and show it off when I got there. And I had to park it in the grass and stuff like that. And I had all these other golfers looking at me like I'm some bigwig, you know, showing off this Cadillac. But it was nerve-wracking that day driving that car around.
I like to see how the building has changed over the years after being here so long. Moved the showroom once or twice. We did business out of the house across the street here, and now we have the nice showroom, so it was nice to see that.
I have too many to list. I have a lot of favorite stories, but the ones that stick out the most are selling the customers that like to come here and for service. It's great to see people come in for service and drive home in a new car.
When I was driving the tow truck on the turnpike, and I was called out to pick up a car, and when I got there, the lady was going up the fast lane of traffic on a wheelchair. So we had a time to get her off the road and get her back here to the garage.
And then what does she have in her dress?
Oh, she had a monkey in her dress. And it was sort of surprising, but nevertheless, it was there.
In the summers, we had workers who came in, usually college students who were off for the summer and wanted to know how to do jobs in places like a parts department. And I was the one who kind of gave them the training to get them used to working in a parts department.